Oh, wow, that button did work. Sorry. It was just suddenly me. Hi. Hello,
Hi.
everyone. Ian's here. Sorry, we're
Hi.
having a rousing conversation about Hitman. Ian's trying to find it on his Steam.
Yeah, if I can bring it up, people up to speed real quick. I wanted to play the new Hitman 3 roguelike mode because I've been hearing great things about it. And I went to Steam, and I own Hitman 3. I have played Hitman through to completion. I can't find it on my Steam account. Can't find it in my Epic Games account. Can't find any record of the purchase in Gmail. So I assumed that I had played Will's copy through Steam family sharing. But Will, what did you just tell me that blew my mind?
That they changed the title of the game to Hitman World of Assassination.
No, but do you own Hitman 3?
Oh, no, sorry. I do not own Hitman 3.
So long story short, I don't know how I played Hitman 3. I didn't copy it.
Was it on Game Pass for a bit?
No, because I played it when it came out.
Did you beat it in under 2 hours and returned it?
No, I wouldn't have done that. It's a great game. Hitman 3 has the train level, and it has the
Did you play it on PC or Xbox or PlayStation? Do you know?
Pretty sure I played it on PC. Gonna search my email again. Anyways, how about you intro this game while I don't pay attention to you?
Folks, this is Songs of Six. It is a colony simulator. Don't worry, I'm switching over to it. It's a colony simulator. Of course, it's not showing up.
Take your time.
It's a quality simulator thing, colony simulator game, and I'm trying to see why it's not showing up. And it's very fun. It's kind of like a spectrum between Dwarf Fortress and RimWorld. It's a little bit closer to Dwarf Fortress, but you get a lot more people and a lot more kind of cohesiveness there. Okay, it's showing up here. Oh, screw you. So here we go. I was gonna show off my town a little bit, and then maybe we start a new game, or I can just show off my town.
I'd say let's start off by showing off your town, because I'm worried that a new game may be a little bit too slow to show off the game. What I mean.
Yeah. The thing I like about this developer, his loading screen quotes are all like from movies I like. So there's like Princess Bride, Total Recall, Running Man. They're just like all sorts of different ones. So
that sounds so fucking cheesy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I thought they were gonna be relevant and not just like, hey, here's all these quotes from movies I like. Sorry.
No, it's great.
I don't mean to slam the game, but just like that's some real fucking Reddit behavior. Anyways, game looks cool.
Yeah, it has a really cool
font looks great.
Yeah, it has a really cool art style. You can see all about every single one of your citizens. This is Helena Fortuna. She's watching some prisoners. She's a scientist. I have 360 population. On the right-hand side here, it's broken down. This is all my stuff. This is my little throne room here. It's nice. Pretty much everything has a little pop-up menu when you click on it. You can also...
Oh, I love that. You
can right-click to like hover over to get more information. So like right here, what the fertility and the strength and all this noise, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, give me all that. Give me all that information at a click.
You can zoom all the way out, which is great. So these are like the different patches of stuff. You can just go have your people harvest that, and then they can get enough seeds to plant it back in your farms.
Icons. God, that's gorgeous.
Lots of icons. It also has the zoom in from here, which is super handy. This like sort of in between here is good. Just like highlights everything, shows you this. So if I need to like see where all my citizens are, because they almost kind of work in a hive mentality where like the latest thing you've put down is kind of what they're going to go work on. And you can set up working stations to like more, you can build little workstations stations with all the tools in them. So you can sort of determine where you want everybody to be helping on a construction versus just builders, and stuff like that. But yeah, this is my little town. The neat thing is, so when you build like rooms, you are building the building and the room, and you're trying to get like high efficiency. So this room, workload, food, I forget what the efficiency of this place was. But we can go, let me go build something so I can show you what that looks like.
Does this game have Z levels?
No, it doesn't, which is kind of nice because it makes you just spread out as a town.
Yeah, Z levels are definitely a take it or leave it type of thing.
Yeah, so this is a little coal mine that's going on here.
Or you could leave it.
Or you could leave it. It's kind of up to you.
Take it, like, but take it or leave it. Like that phrase, take it or leave it, is kind of an aggressive phrase, so it makes it sound like both options are bad.
Ian, take it or leave it, dude. Take it or leave it.
But I feel like what it's really saying is just being like, oh, okay. It's not a great phrase. It's like the phrase, look, fuck you, I'm going on a rant real quick. It's like the phrase over the counter. Like over the counter means I have to go fucking talk to somebody and then they hand it to me over the counter. Over the counter does not mean it's on the shelf self-service. You know what I mean? Am I off my rocker here? Like, no. Like over the counter doesn't make sense.
I can't remember the last time.
Take your time.
I don't. Ian, I'm gonna admit something right now. I don't know what over the counter means, so I can't get mad.
I'm gonna look it up just to make sure I'm not being crazy here.
I've heard that word before, and at this point, it's like a bunch of acronyms at work. I'm too scared to ask because it's been too long.
This is a definition from cancer.gov. Over the counter refers to a medicine that can be bought without a prescription, such as aspirin or acetaminophen. So over the counter means you can just take it off the shelf. You don't need a prescription for it.
Does that mean, okay, so does over the counter mean
no
like,
sense.
Wait, so these are the two camps I'm in. Yes. It's over the counter meaning you can reach over the counter and steal it and no one will be mad at you. Or it's over the counter as in the person is selling it to, like you're bringing it to the counter to buy it and they're selling it to you. Like that's over a counter.
Either way's terrible because
yeah.
You go to the counter to talk to the pharmacist and then they approve it and hand it to you over the counter for prescription drugs. I'm sorry, I'm off my rocker over here, but that just fucking cooks my goose in half. A quick update. I don't own Hitman 3 on the Epic Game Store. I'm trying to find achievements on Steam for the game so I can look at it and see if I unlocked achievements through there to prove that I played it, but I'm having trouble. And I'm now searching the Xbox store. Continue, please.
The only thing I could think of is if my account was still on your Xbox and you played it on Xbox.
Pretty sure I played on PC. I don't like playing it on.
I was pretty sure, folks. So another thing this game does is like housing. People want to live where near they're working. So there's these houses. So when you go to build a house, you go up to civics, we go to housing, we hit house, and then we've got an apartment which can take 4 people or 2 people. We got a dormitory that can take 7, a house that can take 4, or a longhouse that can take 15 people.
Whoa! Do you have a longhouse built? I just want to see what a 15-person place looks like.
So these are like their little. So on top of,
and then on the bottom, that's their burial mounds.
No, that's the hay they're sleeping on. What is happening? What is like corner dragged on? This game literally just had an update, so
I found it.
Scrolling on back.
I found it. I purchased it through Microsoft.
I don't know why that's happening. Oh, I'm stupid. I forgot in this list, it takes you to the person.
Okay. Gotcha. Did you? I purchased it through Xbox.
There we go.
I don't know why. Maybe there's a discount or something.
There's a bunch of different species. I started with humans. There's also these Cretonians. I've never pronounced these or read them.
Species.
So humans, Cretonians.
Different.
Should we come up with different species? But should we come up with the in-world racist terms for each of the? No, we're not doing that. That's horrible. Yeah. There's these Dondorians, the Oldandos.
Space rats.
Space rats. Then there's Garthemis, and then there's the Tilapis.
Green thoughts.
Who love tilapias. But you can go into each of them, and you can tell them, wait, where is it? No. Oh, sorry. This game, there's things you just don't realize you can click. It's very complicated. So I can go to their access and tell them how much access they have to wood, to furniture, to like all sorts of stuff, because this is like their personal possessions. So they're not going to use them for anything. They're not going to use them to go make a shirt or stuff like that. This is just things for them to hold on to in their apartments to like sparkle them up and everything.
When did this game come out?
It hit early access 2020, I think.
I'm going to look it up because the way you're talking about this game and how slow this year has been so far, this may be a GOTY contender, honestly.
So it's very fun. You kind of start and you're just like organically working your way out, because like at some point I wanted to get some clay over here, and this was the deposits, and then I was making a farm up here that they're slowly making a cotton farm so I can make more clothes. I have an opiate farm, and I am exporting that because it's worth a shit ton of money. And I figure if I can get all the other city-states addicted to it, then I'm golden. You can also really fast forward the game.
Oh, that's nice. You said other city-states. What's the intercity state? What's that like?
I haven't really hit any of that.
Okay, because that's something that's really lacking in Dwarf Fortress, quite frankly.
So I have these export depots that I like click on when I want to export, when I want to import. I have some people training. So if I go to the battle menu, I can okay, so this is the world map.
Oh God.
So is this me? Yeah, this is me, Sarlo Winish.
Wait, so real quick, that whole region is the map you're working in, or just the square you highlighted previously? In terms of,
I think just the square I highlighted.
So like when you go back to your fort mode, it's just that square.
Wait, my total population is. Where's that? Why am I 3? Oh, is this like multiplied out? That can't be true.
No. Why? What was it? What else? Maybe it was the province population. Citizens.
Oh, citizens. I don't know what that means. Oh, these are like the statuses as I've been. So when I get 1,000 people, you like unlock more stuff as you. I had no idea this menu was here. This is genuinely helpful. So you like unlock. Like I recently unlocked being able to execute people, and I'm trying to build this courthouse so I can judge people.
Nice.
But yeah, this is sort of the bigger map, and then you can go and like look at other. You can do like huge battles. So this is where you do those, and I have not done any of those, so I'm not allowed to go here. Oh yeah, I forgot there's messages too. The tutorial's okay. There's also an encyclopedia where you can search things. They just added tourism, so that's one of the other ways that you can like sparkle your city up to get tourists. So they can come by. This is where you see the thoughts of everyone. So humans would like to be allowed more clothes. They want food stores. I know, and we need more education. They want arenas.
None of that's not accurate to what thoughts want.
Yeah, the Cretonians are mad that we're torturing people and executing them. Dondorians, sorry, they want to retire at an earlier age. These guys,
execution's a form of retirement.
Nobody's being racist today, which is
frankly disappointing.
It's frankly rare. So I think we're having a good day here in the old city-state. Okay, so the current project I'm working on is building this giant fishery. I was trying to get, basically I was struggling to get coal and some iron or some metal going, and I'm still struggling it. It kind of tells you can like auto-employ a bunch of the places, so it'll only employ the number for the workload, which is very helpful. I do not, here's a smithy. So it's auto-employing 2 people. I have a production of -2. So are you currently making these for me? How many have you made?
I think this is a good overview, but you know, maybe we should start small, start a fresh game.
Start a fresh game?
I think there's too much going on for the user and for the player, because I can tell you're getting sucked into the save.
Yeah.
So I think if we could just have a throwaway save.
Let's do it. No. Well, yeah, sure. Do a new save. Yep. Don't just stand there. Kill something. Okay.
Oh, good news is Hitman 3 is on Game Pass right now, so I'm installing that.
Oh.
And
example.
I keep hearing great things about the rogue mode or whatever you want to call it. So I'm ready to try it out. Possible goatee there.
Okay. Size. Big, small, huge. Let's do small. We'll stay central. Spawns to Angry Lord. Oh, these are cool.
Ooh.
Ooh, dig deep. Ooh. Oh man. Decrease the rate at which subjects use.
I know you're working on this, but can I talk to you about something?
Who should we start as though? Humans.
The Dumbos.
Tilapia. Which one?
Dumbos.
Dundorians?
Yeah. Oh, it's a dwarf.
What did you want to tell me, buddy?
And all the Dwarf Fortress craze of the last winter.
Ooh.
I was thinking about the Last of Us TV show, and I was thinking about the new Twisted Metal TV show, and we've got the Super Mario Brothers stuff and everything, and I was like, all these video games are getting made, and I was like, anybody had any balls, they'd make a Dwarf Fortress TV show.
Fuck yeah.
If I may, I'd like to pitch it to you real quick. All right.
Okay, first, let's find the starting point. Let's get back to this for a second. Buddy.
Fuck.
It's not gonna take too long.
How important is this? Because this is one of those things in Dwarf Fortress where like it is more likely than not that you will fuck this up.
Irreparably. Yeah,
so in this game, is it just kind of like you can make do with whatever? Yeah,
and you can get it through this game. It might have the same complexity as Dwarf Fortress, but it is easier, I should say.
It's less punishing. Okay.
Yeah.
More forgiving.
I'm basically trying to find a spot that those deposits, like I've seen people post like, hey, I got this great spawn, and they've been like that. So like
where they have a little bit green in all of them.
Yeah, they have like a tiny bit of green.
And when it goes orange, that means you can't go there. Maybe find a place where it's 4 or 5 green and then slowly rotate around there and see if you can pick up the next one.
I do, now that I think about it, wish there was a
little searcher.
There's a regenerate. So this says placed capital, and I never knew if that meant like.
I think it's the capital of the region.
I guess so.
Which is probably where your place is. Well, it may not be a capital.
I guess that's why like taxes and stuff change. I honestly didn't know that.
Why don't you stop at one of these? There you go. That was one. That was 6. Where you just put it.
Here?
No, west. Go back over the other continent. Keep going west of the mountains.
Oh.
That was 6 right there.
Oh.
That's it.
Frick yeah. Frick yeah, man.
I'm glad that happened right as I was about to start screaming at you, because you were like, check random, no, check random, no. There was like no method at all to your madness, and I was like, this is gonna take fucking forever. Anyway, shut the fuck up. Dwarf Fortress, the TV show. What do we love about Dwarf Fortress?
Wait, where should we put the throne? I'm kidding. You can talk.
What do we love about Dwarf Fortress? We love the story that unfolds with each fortress. We love the unique characters. We love the element of chaos that starts to become bigger. And we love the uncertainty of how it's going to end. So my proposal is that each series is a different fortress. They are not connected. So it's almost an anthology, but instead of it being episode anthology, it's season anthology. And each season is, let's call it 8 to 10 episodes, 45-minute to an hour-long episodes. And the first episode is the establishing of the fortress. The last episode is the end of the fortress. And whether that is 6 months, 6 years, or 60 years, it's taking you through that. And you start to build up these characters. Like, I had some specific examples I was thinking of. But like, I was just picturing it as like, one of the great things that the show Narcos does is that it has these like background characters in episode 1 that they slowly build up into secondary characters. And then by the time you get to a last episode, like, there's a large pivotal moment with that character that was not established as a main character at the beginning. And so the whole thing would be like, you start out with just this, let's call it like 10 different dwarfs, and you're exploring each of them and the troubles, how they're establishing the fortress, and then like maybe one of them starts to develop a little bit of a tick. So it's one of those things where like you wouldn't have in the game, a dwarf goes berserk, right?
Yeah.
And it's not at random, but if you're not paying attention, it feels like it's at random. But in the TV show, that would be the dwarf that is just like put up too much shit for the entire series, for the entire season, and just like finally breaks, you know? And so it's one of those things where like, one of the reasons I really loved For All Mankind season 2 is that the conflict at the end of season 2 doesn't come out of nowhere. It makes perfect sense, and it is almost inevitable based on all the little tiny decisions that the characters have made up to that point. And so it builds to this point at the end of season 2. I'm not going to spoil it, but it builds to this like conflict and crazy things that start happening, and you're like, this makes perfect sense because of XYZ decision. But at the same time, I understand why they made XYZ decision at that time. And so that's kind of what Dwarf Fortress is each season, brand new fortress, kind of like Fargo TV show. I think that could totally work.
Totally what do they call it? It's what like American Crime Story and American Horror Story are.
Yeah, exactly. But good.
Right.
Yeah. That's what they should do. Why spend $1 billion on a Lord of the Rings TV show when you could spend a portion of that on Dwarf Fortress and get the exact same fantasy audience and just deliver a much better show because you're not belabored by existing lore, fanboys, etc.
Yeah, it's weird how much TV show and movies don't rely on original IP anymore. Like, a lot of like big hit TV shows don't rely on their own world building, even though
it's MCU.
It's usually better.
It's one of those things where they used to rely on that a lot in the 90s and the 2000s because it's an easy way to get viewers. You have like a bottom line viewer base that will show up and watch it regardless of whether it's good or not, just because it's an IP they know and love. But the quality was so low that it wasn't worth it anymore, right? Like, even Star Wars, like Revenge of the Sith, didn't it have like real mediocre box office results? Like, it wasn't that good.
No, I think that did well.
I'll look it up.
Okay, so I'm building this carpenter here. So basically it's like, oh, here's the workbench. But I kind of want to like, you want to make the workbench. I'm obviously not going to do it. as big as possible so you can get the most efficiency out of it. And then it'll tell you kind of how much that's going to cost.
Yeah.
So I can do that. But I can also expand this room. It's going to auto add walls. But if I do too much, that yellow appears, and that causes maintenance, which is at some point you could get to where you want to be able to afford that. But early in the game, that means like people have to come over here and fix it up all the time. You kind of don't want that.
No, I think you're right. Revenge of the Sith did okay. There was some other movie that I was looking at. But during that period, it was like, we're going to bank on the IP, and that will give us a minimum bottom floor. But then it dropped out because audiences got tired of the poor quality. And then Marvel came along and said, we can use established IP. And if you make it well enough, it will deliver above and beyond the numbers. And so now everybody's chasing that. That's why we have, 3 new Ghostbusters movies? Yeah. I didn't even see Afterlife. I don't want to because the female Ghostbusters one was awful.
You know...
Not because there's women in it, but because it was awful.
No, I was going to say, that movie's not good, but I enjoyed the theater experience.
I could see that.
I had a good time. Like, my friend and I went and saw that, and we were eating fast breaks, and we saw it in 3D, which was awful. And then at the end of the movie, I kept seeing a fly, and I thought it was like I couldn't swat it or anything. And then turns out they had seen it too, and it must have been a fly flying in front of the projector, so it was literally on the projection, which was great.
That's fun.
Okay, so I have to make doors. You have to put doors as well. And again, I can't put too many doors because then that isolation will go down. And isolation prevents rooms from degradation and sound pollution, because there is sound pollution in this game.
Makes sense.
Which is fun.
I feel like there is sound pollution in Dwarf Fortress a little bit as well. But I like that they show it here. They're like, hey, here's a number. This is where your calculation is coming from and what factors into it. So anyways, yeah, you're right. It is a problem nowadays, the amount of movies based on existing IP. And I don't even think the problem is that it's based on existing IP. It's that they're either half-assing it, where they're not respecting the original IP and what made it unique and what made it work. And they're just being like, we'll just do a twist on it, but it's a twist that's counter to what made it unique.
Yeah.
Or there is no twist. It's just a remake. It's just a fucking remake. Like, did you see the Little Mermaid trailer in front of the Super Mario Brothers movie? I don't know if they played it for you, but like I saw like they talked about it like 4 different times because there kept being like Little Mermaid themed commercials and then the Little Mermaid trailer, and it just looks like there's no reason for that remake to exist other than money. But even then, people aren't excited about it because it just doesn't look good. So it's just like, it sucks, man. That's the thing. And they waste so much money on the IP, and they waste so much money on, we have to do it better than the last ones, which means we have to spend more money on it. And they waste so much money on, this was an animated film, but we have to remake it as live action. And of course it's going to be more expensive because of that. You know, whereas if they just like took a quarter of that money and said, let's put that into a new idea. It may or may not work, but we don't have to put as much money into it because we don't have to meet expectations that require money, like casting, like flipping to a more expensive format, like live action, like adding a whole bunch of CGI to make it worth it. It's just like, fucking people, man. Let me make my Dwarf Fortress series. That's all I'm asking. The Dwarf Fortress series. And I know we just talked about IP, but there needs to be an Ender's Game series. Have you read Ender's Game, little boy?
Just the first one.
That's kind of all you need. The other ones aren't as good. Ender's Game, incredible novel, right? It's amazing.
This guy's skinny dipping.
Your little boy. The Ender's Game movie wasn't terrible, but it should not have been a movie. Make that fucking 8-episode miniseries The book has so much shit going on to it that you can easily make it an 8-episode miniseries, and people would love it.
Love it.
Fucking love it. And if you can still make Harry Potter shit with J.K. Rowling like she is nowadays, then you can absolutely still make fucking.
Oh yeah,
What's it
it's
called?
not
Orson Scott
outspoken.
Card stuff. You know. Exactly. Yeah.
Again, J.K. Rowling could have been rich and anonymous for the rest of her life
Yes.
with her terrible opinions, but instead she. I mean, I guess it's a good thing. You don't want to like live in that. I mean, with authors, it's still it's not like it was some sort of. I'm trying to think what is more directly impactful if she was like the president after being voted in or something. I'm trying to think of a worse thing where you wouldn't want to support them if you didn't know that. Is that the phrase?
No, that's a good point, which is that her work is not directly empowering, referencing, or spreading her terrible beliefs.
And, it's like, as much as I like some movies, it's hard to watch Kevin Spacey and things.
Yes.
At least fully appreciate it. You just in the back of your head, you're like, we were watching A Bug's Life and he's the villain, and I'm like, still like, fuck you.
Yeah. But you
so,
can.
like,
I'm of the mind of like, watch it. It doesn't mean it's complete anathema because he's in it, etc.
No, that'll be a footnote. The same way you say stuff about someone else in the past. Like that'll be a footnote in 100 years when someone's watching a movie like that. You're like, oh, your annoying friend's gonna tell you that. You know, he's a pedophile, right? Or like,
it's like
sex crazed man.
It's like, yeah, that sucks. And as soon as they found out, they pretty much blacklisted him from the industry, as they should have. And that's fine, but that shouldn't ruin all the movies that he's been part of so far.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas like Michael Jackson, all the negative press about him because of the documentary lately hasn't impacted his music because his music has always been not great. Just a roundabout dig there. I feel like I've made that before.
So in part, I'm glad he was doing that stuff because
now people realize it. His music's not great. I feel like I've said that before because I think it was either Halucha or Sevilla that like called me out last time and was like, "How dare you say that about Michael Jackson?" His music's not terrible. It's just it ain't for me. It's the bad type of pop that I don't like.
I like the Michael Jackson songs I'd like. I've never like tried to explore Michael Jackson. Like, you put Thriller on at like a Halloween movie or a Halloween party, it's a catchy song. That's great.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty much it. Smooth Criminal.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I only like Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal because I really liked Sum 41 Smooth Criminal.
You know who I feel this way about? I have tried to listen to Prince, and I do not see any of the appeal.
It's the same. There's one or two songs. I really want to watch that movie Purple Rain because Prince is just such a weird person, and he's like gender fluid before that was like mainstream, and it's just like I want to watch that. I want to see what that is.
Like from all I've heard, like Prince was, I believe, a great guy, albeit a little bit crazy. Sorry, as in talented guy. I don't know if personally he was a great guy. He might not have been. But like talented, is a really good musician. Music's not for me. That's why I always hate when people, I'm like, yeah, I don't really listen to rap. It's not my kind of music. And people are always like, but also, like, there's plenty of regular, normal, other music that I don't like. So,
speaking of music, does this game have background music?
Yeah, can you not? You should be getting it through Discord.
No, I'm not getting it at all. I don't get it through.
Yes, it does have. It has really good background music, actually. Let me
Yeah, I don't get it at all. If you could just send it to me.
You should be hearing rain.
Well, I can't. No, I'm not getting anything through Discord because of Discord sharing.
Yeah. You can hear that rain now?
Yeah, it sounds just like your AC, but I can hear it. It's right.
The music will kick up in a second.
There it goes. I got it now. Yeah. So there's part of me who I really liked writing screenplays in college. I feel like screenplays are great for me because I'm too lazy to write. Writing is painful for me, like prose writing. It's David Foster Wallace had like the most perfect quote for me, where he said, I'm gonna find the exact quote just to make sure.
How are you cut off? Am I gonna have to cut down this whole building?
Yeah, maybe I made this quote up.
You made a quote up? Is that illegal?
Maybe I did.
Oh, there's.
You know what? I may have made this quote up, but I'm going to say it anyways until
Maybe it's your new quote.
I believe he said that writing for him was like a painful, like laborious process, and he described it as shitting small, sharp stones.
Ugh.
Where it's just like, I got to get it out, but it's painful, and it's just like, like sentence by sentence. And screenplays for me were great because it's less writing. It like, you ever done any like screenplay or stage play writing?
Just a tiny bit.
Like, isn't
but
it?
I agree with you.
Yeah, I love that it's all about like, you have to be very economical with your words. You have to get a lot across in very small sections. You're not writing paragraphs and paragraphs with it. And it's got to be concise but impactful. And that for me was great. And I love movies. So I wrote 3 screenplays in college. None of them are good, but that was nice. And there's part of me that wants to pull a Jake Terrio and be like, hey, what if I just write a Dwarf Fortress series? What if I just do it anyways? You know?
Do it, girl.
I remember now. So do you know about, what's it called in Dwarf Fortress? The circus. Do you know about the circus? That whole mythos?
Oh, the like underworld? I don't. Because I've never been down there.
So I think we basically know the same thing, which is that at some point you break into like basically a hell underworld. You dig down far enough, you reach a bunch of magma lakes. If you get through the magma lakes, which takes a lot of planning and stuff, you can then break through that into this large underworld which has no bottom. But as soon as you break through it, all these demons on the map are aware of your presence and they just rush where you broke through. So it's like you literally broke into hell and they immediately know and are trying to escape and on the way just slaughter you.
That's terrifying.
So I was thinking one of the seasons of Dwarf Fortress should be the entire season is them like building up this great fortress. And they go through struggles, like there's a hard winter and stuff. There's like one episode is this like tough question of like one of the most respected members of the community is accused of theft. And it's like, we don't really have a crime and punishment system in place. What are we going to do? So it almost becomes this procedural season in a way where each episode is a different story and a different time of this fortress, but the fortress perseveres. You're celebrating this fortress. Like they had made tough decisions, but they survived and they did the right thing and they got through it. And then like the last episode is them like being like, we've expanded so far. Like we have this magma lake. We know there's riches down there. We can feel it. And we're going to break through it. And they're like sweating and toilet and they break through it. And they're like, we made it through. And they like open the tome. They're just like, what's that darkness? And they like drop a torch and the eyes light up. And the last 10 minutes is just all these fucking demons coming out and just slaughtering everybody in the fortress. And it's just like the giant gilded, like gem encrusted throne hall just splattered in blood. And the last like like 5 minutes of the episode is just all these like quiet static shots of this was the dining hall that you know from the whole series and all the dead bodies in it.
Oh.
You know, so it's one of those things where it's just like they got so big and they were doing so well, but their hubris, they forgot that they are always vulnerable in this big weird world, you know.
I like that.
Yeah, so it would be like that. You know, every season is a fortress, and every season, not every fortress ends in calamity, but it's, you know, like you could have a whole fucking season about our Elkin werewolf one, where it's just like it turns into this weird season of the Thing, where you can't trust anybody, you know. Like Battlestar Galactica, you're like, who's the fucking Cylon? Like, we've got 3 people dead every full moon. Who the fuck is doing this? You know?
Yeah, I like it.
There's like a murder mystery. God.
Be good.
If I had... Yeah, do you have ADHD?
I mean, not diagnosed.
Neither do I. I don't think I do, but there's also plenty of times where I want to do something. I'm capable of doing something, but instead I just like, what if I just go lay in bed and sit on TikTok for 90 minutes?
1,000%.
You know? And so part of me is like, what if I just, this is what I did last night was I Googled like over-the-counter ADHD medicine. I was like, what if I just tried some ADHD medicine? Because if I could just, it literally is focus. If I could just focus on doing one of these things, if I could just focus an hour each day and work on the Door Fortress and write pages, I could fucking knock that thing out easily. It's just laziness that is preventing me from doing it, right?
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of this smash cut to Always Sunny. Ian Gibson is an Adderall addict. Because that's exactly what you're describing is people I know who took Adderall to focus on things, like in an illegal capacity, and they don't get addicted to it, but it's just like those are the situations I know people use Adderall. It's just like, oh yeah,
because that's the thing is like I'm capable of plenty of stuff. I just do it for like 30 minutes once a week, and then I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll go do something. But I don't actually do anything else. It's just a waste of time. You know.
Oh, I shouldn't have taken that hat off. Yeah, I agree. I get that way too. I can't tell you how many nights I fall asleep. I can't fall asleep because I'm like planning an epic stream or video. Sorry, I have to put this hat back on. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then the next day it's just like, but I could get to that this weekend or something.
Yeah, exactly. And then it almost never gets done. And then, or by the time you do it, it's half-assed.
Yeah. Which is what I'm trying to do with a May 4th video. So I'm like, I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna shoot it this way. I'm extremely forgetful, so I try to write things down as much as possible now. And I've decided I will write it down anywhere. So like the crossword book I've been working on says like movies and ideas around the edges because I just immediately write it down. Which is the problem at night. I have to lean over and like write on my phone quickly, and I need to devise a better system of getting ideas down at night.
What if it is, just gonna throw this out there, it's a notebook and it's a pen. I don't know if anybody's made this, but it's a pen that when you grip it, a light comes on.
Okay.
And like a spotlight on the pen, on where you're writing. That's not a bad idea. Like literally when you grip it.
It's a red light, so it doesn't.
Yeah. We'll look that up.
We should prototype.
You know what? I should get some Adderall so I can fill out a patent for a red light grip pen. Pen with red light. Lighted tip with.
Okay, we're not doing good on food.
Oh, you know what? They do make them. It's a red LED light pen. I don't know if it's any good, but it's basically what I talked about. Literally, the details on this Have you ever had an inspiration in the middle of the night, or maybe a nagging thought or to-do item that you just thought of? Keep this red LED light pen and a notepad on your nightstand. I can't believe they like, we literally just came up with that idea and they've already made it.
They've already stolen it.
Wow.
Bastards. Oh, I can drag these guys up and down? I had no idea.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of the game Banished was finding out that the birth rate is tied to how many people you have in a single household, because newlyweds are less likely to work each other if they're still living with their parents, as opposed to living on their own. Does this game have a similar system, or do they just not really care?
I have no idea. We could check.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, so in this game, you
research for
eventually
procreation. There's a search at the top. Yep. Yeah, 3.
There's a breeder.
I'm sorry, just real quick. Yeah. Breed with 3 E's sounds like some sort of weird porn fetish. Like it's a fetish category.
Breed with 2 E's already is. So.
Yes, but with 3 E's is something special.
Something special. There's an extra E in it, if you know what I mean.
It's, you know what? I don't want to go down this. It's going to get too explicit real quick. So, anyways.
Yeah, there's like breeders and stuff that I think is exclusively where the porking happens.
I'm sorry, is there a cannibal icon in there?
Yeah, I think someone likes cannibalism. So, we can make a cannibal for butchering corpses for meat if we would like. This is nice. So this is every single thing. And then they also they break it down over here. So we can have a map.
Can I get me a boaty crawler breeder?
I hate you so much. I'm gonna put a big old
Hey, this is fascinating. There. But in the spirit of continuing to talk.
Yeah.
Well, two questions. First question. I finished my keyboard. Want to talk about it now or on local chat? It's up to you.
Third option to not talk about it.
I think you would appreciate it.
We can talk about it on local chat. I want to talk about the Mario movie on local chat.
Yeah, definitely Mario movie.
But I have to get a third person who's seen it. So I think I'm just gonna see if Jake has seen it. And if he hasn't, I'm just gonna get Kyle.
Yeah, I was gonna.
And I've asked neither of them. So the one viewer, please don't rush and tell them and spoil the surprise that I'm gonna ask them.
But honestly, if we're gonna talk about that in depth, then I should talk about my keyboard.
Yeah, I was afraid that was gonna be the outcome of this, but also I figured since I ended the stream 2 minutes ago. No, I'm kidding. You can go for it.
Okay, I finally got my keyboard.
You built it?
It's been well. So here's what I did. It's been about 2 months since I started my journey. I was planning to build it myself, but the problem I was having was basically a good compromise on building it is you buy the PCB, and then you buy the case, and then you buy the switches, and you buy the keycaps, and you buy the stabilizers and other stuff, right? But the problem is, fucking keyboard community, the mechanical keyboard community, are idiots. They hate a full-size 110 key keyboard, which is stupid. Like, how often do you use the numpad?
All the time.
Exactly. Like they're big fans of no numpad, and they're even bigger fans of no arrows. So it basically goes from caps lock to enter, and that's it, which is insane to me. So the problem was, I pretty quickly realized I couldn't do a PCB plus case like a semi-custom build. So what I landed on was I got a Keychron V6, which is a really nice company. They make super solid keyboards. This one is wired and it's plastic, so it was actually not like their super high-end model. Like their high-end models are wireless and metal, aluminum. But this one's still, it's heavy. And I'll show it to you in a second. But basically it's the case plus the PCB, and it came with switches and it came with keycaps, but it's hot swappable, which means you just use a puller to pull the keycaps and you can pull the switch out, and the switch controls how it feels. So actually, and the weird thing was you could buy this bare bones for like $80, or you can buy it with switches and keycaps for only $20 more. And you cannot buy a set of switches and keycaps for $20. Like, it's just not possible. So I literally I bought it fully kitted out, even knowing I was going to pull those caps and those switches, just because it's like, you know what, maybe I'll like them, maybe I'll change them to that in the future, maybe I'll do a different keyboard at some point. So it was literally $20 for like, honestly, it was like $20 more for like $100 worth of extra parts, basically, was the way I was looking at it. Oh, and the other thing is this keyboard has a knob.
Ooh, I like when they have knobs.
Yeah, do you have a volume knob, a USB volume knob like I do?
No.
So I'll show you what I have. I'll just unplug it real quick. So I bought this a couple years ago, and the reason why I did is because I got new speakers. You can still hear me.
I couldn't go with the bit. I was picturing you getting too angry, so I called it audible.
No. So I bought this off Amazon. I think it was like $25. It's a nice metal knob. You plug it in and it's just your volume knob. And the reason why I got it was because I got bookshelf speakers.
So that controls actual Windows volume?
Yeah, whatever your current Windows playback output is, it's just volume, and then you click it, mute, unmute. And it's perfect because the speakers came with this little shitty remote, and the remote made it hard to quickly mute or to like quickly change volume. So I've had this plugged in, but once I started looking at mechanical keyboards and I noticed some of them came with knobs, I was like, oh shit, I can get rid of this or repurpose this, and I can use the knob on the keyboard. So instead of having to reach across the desk for the big knob, I can just use it on the keyboard. So long story short, I got a nice mechanical keyboard, and then I searched for a nice set of keycaps for days. Because I don't know, Will, if you've ever looked at keycaps, but one of the big considerations with keycaps is what the shape of the top of the keycap is. Do you want it to be flat? Do you want it to be cylindrical? As in, you know, it's like scalloped?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want it to be like spherical, where it's sloped on all four sides and not just two sides?
That's what.
And then,
no.
So is yours sloped on four sides or two sides?
Oh, it's only two sides, top and bottom.
Oh, your top and bottom are sloped of your keys?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a weird one. Because usually it's right and left.
Oh, you're not.
But that's no, I can see that. That's your left and right.
No, that's top and bottom.
Oh, that's weird. Because usually that's a weird one. But anyways, there's like 5 major profiles for keycaps. There's like a whole bunch more variants than that. Because the other thing is also like, do you want, when you look at the keyboard from the side, do you want the rows of keys to be slightly shorter in the middle, or do you want them to all be the same height across all the rows? And so I was like asking those questions to myself, and then I was also looking at the colors, and I'm like, okay, which ones look good? And then the other thing that really hurt me was, this is going to sound psychotic, but with keycaps, it's 100% aesthetics pretty much. I was like, I love it when the letter is perfectly centered in the key. When I know the normal is to have it tucked into one of the corners, usually like the top left or top right corner. But if I'm actually looking at the keycaps, I want it to be in the center. And so I think I found the perfect keycaps. Are you ready? Show it to you. Here we go. I think you're going to love it. Here we go. I know you love it. It's like retro style. Isn't that nice? I'll tell you the price at the end and you will not get it. But the other thing I did,
a set of keys like those, for so long. Ever since I saw, you ever see the Godspeed ones?
Yeah.
Like that style.
That's the other thing is that some of the keycaps, like from Godspeed and GMK, etc., they're like $100 for a keycap set.
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
what the fuck are you people doing? Because I paid $30 for these. I paid $30, and these came with like 150 keycaps, so I had some color options and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you could buy these keycaps and put them on your keyboard, probably.
I need to get new keyboards. I think Karen and I swapped a while ago, and this is just like, actually, I think this is the one you gave me that was from your parents.
Yeah, from my dad. But you should look at it. If you can swap those switches, then you could just keep the chassis and buy new switches that you like and buy new keycaps.
These switches are blues, and they're okay. See, the problem is I'm bad at typing and bad at keyboards, so I never know if something actually feels good or not.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It took me about a month to figure out which type of switch I wanted and then to commit to it.
I should get one of those testers like you have.
Yeah. Although it's like $90. It may be better for me, honestly, just to ship you the one that I have.
That's true.
It'd be cheaper. But so here's the thing, though, is the other thing is the whole community is about clack. I want the click. I want the clack. People don't really like silent switches, but the people who like silent switches, they tend to be mushy. They tend to be linear. Linear as in like there's no feeling. It's just straight down and then they hit the bottom. And I don't like that. So I had to find a switch that feels like a clicky switch, but has no click at all. And it was hard. And I was finding some options, but then I found this company called Gazoo who makes a boba, I think it's called Boba U4 tactical silent switch. And give me 2 seconds. I can give you a demonstration real quick. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I still see you, you cucklord.
Oh, sorry. No.
What?
Oh, you still hear me too.
Okay, here we go.
Let's do it.
So the tester. So I'll do a cherry red for you.
Oh.
Cherry red, cherry blue, cherry greens. These are the clickies.
Oh.
Those are loud. This is my boba. These are the clacky ones.
Holy crap.
This is the same thing, but silent. So
Yeah, I don't think that's coming through.
it's very silent. So actually, I'll do a test right now. I'll throw open Notepad and type something. I'm typing full speed on my keyboard. Can you hear it?
Yeah, but not as much as your IBM.
Yeah, exactly. You can probably hear the space bar a lot because
Yeah.
space bar is still clacky. It's always like that. So yeah, so I basically found these switches that they're heavy. They feel like a click. They feel just like my IBM Model M, honestly. But they're very silent. And the keycaps look hella fucking cool. And the final thing, this knob, this is the part I'm most proud of, honestly. I replaced that. The one that came with the keyboard was like a generic gray knob, but I sourced that based on size off Amazon. So
Nice.
that's my volume knob. It's literally like a 70s guitar amp knob.
I like that.
So anyways, that was a long rant. I'm glad we did that here because on local chat I feel like it would have been way too much. But
Yeah, it worked.
let me tell you the bad part, Will.
Uh-oh.
The part why I have gone down this path so that you don't have to follow me. You want to guess how much all of this cost? Not including the tester, just for the keyboard.
For the keyboard with the keys, I'm going to say it cost $230.
Let's count it up. Base keyboard, which came with keycaps and switches.
Here, wait. Let me put I want to tally this on cam since we're going full rogue here.
Okay, well, if we're doing that, then I'll give you the exact numbers from Gmail. Okay.
Okay, wait.
For the base keyboard,
Wait. Okay, we're good.
so for the base keyboard was, I'll give you the full total at the end, $99 plus $15 for shipping, so it was $114.
114.
I'll just say real quick, I ordered this thing on like a Friday. I ordered it on like a Saturday
Wait, the
morning.
total was 114?
No, just the base keyboard.
Oh, okay.
I ordered this thing on a Saturday morning. They shipped it from China, and it got to me on a Thursday for $15 shipping. That's insane. I was not expecting that. Okay. The keycaps.
Wait, let me put a background on this. There we go. Okay. So wait. I'm gonna write base for that one. Now we're on to keycaps.
Keycaps. I got a steal on these because I said the Godspeed SA, which is what these are a clone of or whatever, like $100 or whatever, GMK $100. These keycaps, $32.24.
Oh, there goes that. Okay.
So, $32.24. These switches were a little expensive. Okay. I had to buy 110 of them to cover my keyboard. I had to get them out of Canada, so there was definitely a shipping cost on top of that. Converting this to USD. The switches were $82.95.
Jesus H.W. Christ.
Yeah, I mean that's even with the switches. That's like 65 cents each per switch. Even if you want to go on the cheap end, you're going to spend at least 35 cents per switch. So I'll add all that up.
Oh, we're positive on fish, everybody.
Jesus Christ, Will, you're almost exact. $229.19. Yeah.
I've looked at keyboards before.
And honestly, that's probably straight middle of the road. Because if you spend less than that, then you're not really getting the customization. Like, because even when I bought this from the company, they were like, do you want reds or do you want browns? That was the only choice you had. You didn't have a choice of keycaps. You had a choice of 2 generic switches. And you could go much higher than that. But at the end of the day, ask me the question, Will, was it worth it?
Was it worth it?
No. No. This is a stupid fucking hobby. It looks great. It feels great, but it's not $229 great. I mean, it's not. Maybe if this lasts 20 years and I change it out over and over again. But even if I want to change the keycaps is going to cost me at least. If I want to change the keycaps, it's going to
Those keycaps are going to come get you.
Those keycaps are going to cost me at least $30 each. If I want to change the switches, it's going to cost me $60 to $80 each time. So if I wanted to remake this here keyboard, it's going to cost me at least $100 to $110. So it honestly just feels like a waste of money. But I did it. No, I feel like, I mean, let's take a moment and brainstorm here. There's other hobbies where you can spend a decent amount of money, but you get worth out of it. 3D printer. I could have spent that much money getting a 3D printer, FDM or resin, but that would have been much more worthwhile because it's much more usable, etc.
Totally.
At the end of the day, this is exactly the same as any other keyboard, except with one difference. I didn't talk about this. This is actually kind of cool. A lot of the keyboards nowadays come with firmware that is open source. And so I believe mine's called VKA. But anyways, all I have to do is I go to this website and the website says like, hey, can we use Chrome to connect to your keyboard? And I say yes. And I can instantly change the lighting on the keyboard, which I don't care about, but I can also remap any of the keys to any other keystroke or any macro that I define. And that's not the company providing that. It's a generic open source that the keyboard community has embraced. So it does make the keyboard more customizable than a normal keyboard. But other than that, it's just feeling and looks. And that is not worth. I mean, if I bought this exact same keyboard, but not mechanical, etc., I would spend what? $50 for a nice build quality keyboard. So I spent 4 times that just to pick my looks and feel. That's not fucking worth it. It's just not.
Yeah, I think I agree. I'm glad I went the other route in the hobby split there, and I've gotten into the 35mm camera stuff, which has been cheap. I should say
it's cheap because I have like 3 lenses. For when I bought the Panasonic, I bought 3 lenses that are, I think they're Canon FD lenses, because I found out you can do an FD to a micro. I forgot all the fucking camera terms, but anyways, I was buying lenses for like $40 each. The lenses are beautiful. They're just not automatic in any way. And then I just have like a $25 adapter to fit to my modern camera. So you're right. It is cheap. Relatively. Compared to the new stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because I grabbed 35mm. The Minolta I bought was $60 on eBay. Then the only expensive thing is film is, I mean, it's way more expensive than it used to be.
What are you paying?
Like, I think Porta 800. I think one of these was. I think these 2 were $10 and this is like 15.
Oh, that is a lot.
It's not like you can. I mean, film is literally the thing. If you buy in bulk, it's way cheaper. But I don't have a fridge to store film in yet. I'm not at that point.
That is good. I didn't realize it was cheaper in bulk, because there are things where it is not cheaper in bulk. You just have to suck it up and pay the
It's
same
also nice
price.
because then I just get free film canisters. But and shooting with that, it's super fun and rewarding, and I've literally I've gotten better at photography from getting prints back and looking at them and being like, oh,
I can see that.
These cameras don't show you depth of field because that's not how they work. So I need to figure out, and it has like a depth of field button where it gives you the focus effect for it, which is really neat. But like, I need to figure it out myself.
That was one of those things where for Maggie and I, for our wedding, on a whim, I was like, you know what I really like was the idea of every table at the wedding has a disposable camera or 2, and they get the disposable, or every person gets, and then I looked it up, and disposable cameras nowadays are like $10-15 each.
Yeah.
And then you have to, and they don't include development anymore. So you're looking at basically $25 to $45 per camera to purchase the camera and get it developed. And I was like, that's too much, because ideally it would be give everybody, you've got 30 disposable cameras, you hand them out to people and they just go around taking photos like crazy, and that makes the cool scrapbook, you know? But that's just not feasible anymore. How are you developing? Are you shipping out, or did you buy a development bag? You bought a fucking development bag, didn't you?
I told
Those
myself,
are so cool.
I'm not getting into home development until I have the room that has like my 3D printer and like I can wear a mask and like do all that sort of stuff.
Oh, you're not gonna do the bag thing?
No, because but I'm saying I could develop them, but I can't print them. I can't make prints. You know what I mean? Like, I could develop them and then scan them at home. Like, you're only developing the negatives.
Yeah, and then you just scan it.
Yeah, but home scanning is like not great.
It's not. Yeah, that's fair.
It's like not there, and you need a decent camera to do the scanning, or you need an expensive scanning machine. So I sent it to the dark room.
Camera.
I sent it to the dark room in California. They're super cheap. I paid for prints on the last 2 I did.
Tell me prices here.
I think it's. Now I gotta look it up.
It's like $3-4 per photo.
Film developing. Let's do 235. So for what I am doing, this isn't what I did, but for what I'm doing going forward is one roll is it's $20 for a roll and their highest res scan of your negatives.
Oh, but they're not shipping you prints back, are they? They're just
not
shipping you
in that
digitals.
one. So I got
but then
prints back.
You get those printed. You can get those printed elsewhere.
So they upload all of your albums for free. You can pay for their service. It's $1.50 a month for unlimited photo storage there. I have my Synology, so I just download them. But I realized I got prints back, but I realized I would rather pay for the super scans and can print them later than pay for the regular scans and get prints. Because like if I want a really nice version of it that I can blow up really big, then I want that. So so you said $20 for the development, $10 for the roll. So you're basically looking at $30 for 24 pics. That's honestly not as expensive as I thought it would be. So it's $30 to shoot and develop a roll of film. Well, it's only $20. They pay for shipping and they ship it back to you. They give you the prepaid label.
That's what I mean. It's $10 for the roll. Plus $20 to develop. So it's basically $30 to shoot and develop a roll of film.
It's that's not 36 shots.
Oh, 30. Wow. I thought 24 was the standard.
36, baby. So I got the Porta 800 because I wanted to not have to be in perfect daylight for it. The E100 are that's ISO of 100, and it's extremely fine grained, which I wanted to test out with some stuff in the park. And then I shot at the Met Cloisters. I shot black and white. And if anyone's watching this and you want to see the Met Cloisters pictures, they're on my Instagram. They came out astonishing from that, and I was very, very genuinely proud of those photos.
Some of the I follow a couple people on TikTok who they like to collect and use old cameras in like weird formats. So one of the things they did was where it was like a full frame camera, but it allows you to load 35 millimeter, so it exposes across the entire film.
Oh.
And so when you develop it, you get the film strips at the top and bottom, but it's exposed around it. So it like exposes around the socket holes and everything.
That's cool.
And they were doing all sorts of weird stuff like that and showing off weird cameras. And it was cool.
Yeah. And it's nice the darkroom sends your, like Walgreens will throw them away, but darkroom sends back your negatives and everything. So
does darkroom, because don't you have a manual film camera as well?
Yeah, I have the 8 Super 8, or it's not Super 8, Double 8.
Did they develop
Bolex.
that? Because
I don't know. I think I would have to go to someone else for that.
Because if you could pay a decent price for film and a decent price for development, I would love to do like a retro episode of Pixelate where we take that or some other similar camera.
Yeah, I've been trying to get it working for my wedding, so someone can just like shoot for fun. But I have not. I need to look into it again and do some test shots because I do not remember how to operate that camera. But eventually, I want to shoot a bunch of 35, and then I would like to eventually move up to the
70,
medium format.
70 millimeter.
There's a medium format 120.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah, I know.
IMAX 65.
What is the camera? It's like the Maima camera. It's the Maima 645, which, if you look up, is a very cool looking camera from Japan. I think it's Japan.
What's it called?
It's Mamiya, Mamiya. Yeah, it is Japan.
645. Oh yeah. Yeah,
it's
I like
a cool
those.
looking camera.
Little cube.
So that's medium
cameras.
format, and I don't know. I just like film grain as evidence of most of the things I've made for Subpixel.
Yeah.
I just there's such a. I just love it. I don't know why.
Because even some of those Canon, I think they're FD lenses. I was leaning on those a lot, shooting stuff for the think I did the pinball in that, and I did a lot of Iceland in that on my camera, because even just using an old lens gives you a little bit of that look. You know, not the full thing of film, but I'm totally there with you. That older aesthetic is just real nice.
Yeah, it's also really the feeling of sending your photos off and then getting the email from them saying they've uploaded the negatives is just like a really fun feeling, because that point you've kind of forgotten about it and you're just like, oh. So you get to go look at it.
Time?
It was like 7 days.
It's really not bad.
If I don't think any of my photos are still up here. Only you would be able to see them.
Excuse
Oh,
me.
they are up here. These are all bad.
Oh, not terrible.
I'm trying to show you my favorite.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Hang on, let me switch so people can see these. Post. Do main monitor. Wow, you can see everything.
Ow.
There, now you can see better.
And one of the statues good.
This one I really like. It's a little too high up,
on it.
but I cropped it.
Is that Cheesecake Factory at the top?
I wish. Karen doesn't like that photo over, so I'm trying not to show it. This one of these. I think this one came out better. This is the Greek place we ate at.
It's not bad.
Too blurry. And then this one's the end of the roll. It caught on the previous photo. And then that's my dad looking at me, taking a picture of him in the car, which is pretty great. But yeah, these were fun, and it was fun to send it off to see what came back. But Matt Cloisters was really great.
That looks nice.
I liked too, and this guy was cool. Someone's great.
But you're totally right about it. You have limited, and so that makes you focus and get the right shot instead of just click.
Exactly. Oh god, I lost it. Exactly. So there's a little peek into that. I think that's pretty much it for this. It's not the best stream game, but I put podcasts on and just play this. Literally like setting up a bunch of stuff, and then you tap 4 twice to go into like super mode, and you see how fast the day night cycle is. And you
oh my god, I didn't even notice. Is that like the planet backdrop? What's the backdrop behind the sun moving?
Oh, so we're in fall right now, so those are autumn leaves, and that'll be winter.
Oh, okay.
So it shows the seasons.
Gotcha.
The seasons are like, I don't know how many. I think there's maybe 10 days between. Well, see, this is halfway through autumn, and it's day 3, so I think there's 6 days per season.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
But super fun. I really am enjoying this. The the guy just put out an update today where he was like, "Oh, so I'm working on this game. I've been working on it for 10 years, and I pretty much have enough money to work on it for another 10 years. So, I'm just gonna work on a bunch of things."
I would love that. I would love to have a project that I can actually commit to, and that
I see what he said.
I could convince
I've already been
Maggie
at it for a decade, so it'd be silly for me to stop now. I've got enough funds to keep it for another decade. I'm working every day, sacrificing PR community management for the sake of coding. That's why I'm not super active. And then he posts a little video of V64. There's some good mods too. I haven't really looked into them. This person has an 8.7K. Damn, that is huge. People can't see this, but pretty wild. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. It's just the right amount of like weird, freaky, like and sort of glitchy and stuff. I don't know why. No matter what, this VSync won't issue. There's always screen tearing, and VSync is on. Don't know why. It must be something else. Must not actually do anything. I'm just gonna shake the camera for everyone all the time. This has been Subpixel. I've been your host, Will Crosby. That's been Ian Gibson talking about keyboards, cameras, and of course, cam girls. We'll be back Thursday for the cam girl portion of the stream. Local chat, 9 p.m. Eastern. Not quite sure who's on it yet, other than Ian, of course. We'll be talking about the Mario movie. Probably do a spoiler section.
Yeah. Hey, just while we're talking about it, I feel like it may be better for our 1 or 2 listeners. What if we just hold the spoiler section till the end, so when we get there, we say, if you don't want to listen to this, stop listening. That's it. And then we kind of go from there. Because I always hate if I want to skip a spoiler section. I'm like, how far do I have to go? And I'm worried. What do you think about trying that out?
Yeah, we can try that. There's not much else I want to talk about, so it's like...
Yeah, but so we would just speed run games. There's a little bit of news to talk about, and then we, 40 minutes in, then we say, okay, now it's time for spoilers. So if you want to listen, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah, that works for me. So we'll be local chat, and then this weekend, Scanlines is coming back. I think it's going to be Saturday, probably Saturday at 5 p.m. Can't do Sunday because it's the Lord's Day. What am I going to do? Stream on the Lord's Day? Well, he's dead now, so
we did.
I can do whatever the fuck I want.
We streamed on Sunday.
We streamed on Easter, didn't we?
Yeah, Easter's the lamest fucking holiday.
God,
it's bad. Anyways,
even Good Friday's better than that.
Look, I'll tell you what. Next Tuesday, something's coming. I'm not telling you what it is.
Karen's birthday next Tuesday.
It's going to be a special surprise for Karen and the whole fucking world.
I told her what it was, and I said, we can watch it if you want. And she said, that's okay.
I don't know. I still think that first episode of my first Kingdom Hearts 2 is the craziest stream we've ever done. Yeah. That was just off the rails.
That's probably true, to be honest with you.
I think I cried like 3 times.
Nightmare. Tune in for that.
And if you want a sneak peek at it, you're gonna have to join the Discord because I'll probably be revealing it there first.
Yeah, I mean you already did here, so.
But can I do? Oh, let me put it in the. Does that work? I don't think that works. Oh, there we go. The Discord one works.
Join the Discord. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you later. Bye. Oh, that's the 1 cam. 2 cam.